Today, on my 2 cents, I want to talk about the Michelle Obama insult. Right now, all across America and probably even the world, there are a lot of people who are highly upset about what the UFC fighter said about Michelle Obama. So before we get into this, let me play this news clip.
Reporting live from Irish Glove, Fight Plus News, I'm John Alba.
And lastly, Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America?
Last night, for the first time ever, the UFC would host a series of fights at the White House. Yes, the actual White House. Fighters could be seen doing their walkouts from the Oval Office and historic parts of this national treasure as they would enter the octagon to fight each other for viewers, special guests, and Donald Trump. Now, outside of the criticism to even have this type of event at such a sacred place, many are now responding to a moment in particular where fighter Josh Hokit would yell on live TV that former First Lady Michelle Obama was a man.
And lastly, Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America?
Now, for many, the insult came out of nowhere, given that Hokit had just won his fight, in which he could have used the moment to focus on other things, and for Obama supporters, it should have never happened. People across social media would begin to sound off as the moment began to circulate online. A part of those responses, Jamie Foxx and D.L. Hughley, who have both been public supporters of the Obamas, would jump online to push back on the insult that some have gone on to label as a joke. In response to the moment, Hughley would reshare Hokit's insult with a caption that read, "This what we doing?" It would appear that not only Hughley wasn't a fan of Hokit's interview, he also appears to not be a fan of the entire event altogether. On his stories, he would reshare a meme that would read FUC UFC. While on Threads, he would continue calling out the event itself and those who watched it. Over on his Threads, he would go on to say, only two kinds of people went to the White House last night for that UFC event: racists and people who have no problem with racists. And lastly, he would go on to say, the same people who watched and defended that roast will watch and defend the UFC event, referring to the recent roast of Kevin Hart on Netflix. Now, interesting enough, the host of that roast, comedian Shane Gillis, was actually in attendance for the UFC White House event last night. Now, when it came down to Jamie Foxx, he would push back in a different way by lifting Michelle Obama up with a post that read, "Beautiful and accomplished," followed by several photos of the former First Lady. For many black users across social media who are fans of the Obamas, they would criticize the constant jabs towards them and label it as a racist act. For those same users, they will point out how much black people in the Obamas stay on racists' mind, despite the Obamas leaving the White House nearly 10 years ago.
Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America?
Was this the point? Was this the point of the whole USC backyard trailer trash brawl in front of the White House, to go after a black woman who has nothing to do with any of the events? This is why I say, for any white person that says racism doesn't exist, there's your sign. Most educated first lady in history, because y'all forget that she's an Ivy League graduate ×2, a lawyer, a mother, a wife, an educator. Y'all will still find y'all way to disrespect her.
No one can convince me that they're not obsessed with the Obamas, because the Obama Presidential Center opens on Friday, and out of the nowhere, this ongoing lie that has been ongoing for over 10 years is somehow now funny and what's first on your mind to say after you won a fight. How does it make sense? There's never been a first family disrespected as much as the Obamas, and they think it is funny, and it's not.
That these people are so obsessed with them when they have been out of the White House for years is absolutely insane. Because what do you mean you just won a fight on the White House lawn, and when you get a chance to get a microphone, you want to say that Michelle Obama is a man? Please, Miss Michelle Obama, I know that you are a go high, classy lady. Please sue these people. They are so comfortable. The disrespect is they so comfortable disrespecting you. Like, it don't even make sense. The defamation suit is right there. You said it on national TV. Sue CBS, sue Joe Rogan and them pants he had on, sue everybody. Like, sue. Because at the end of the day, they too comfortable disrespecting you.
So you see, black people are very, very upset. I should say some black people, at the statement made by this poor white trash mixed martial artist fighter who made this racist comment. But it's not him only that we should focus on. Like that last lady said in that clip, she should sue everybody that was there. Even though he spoke the words, they were all in agreement, and nobody can tell me that they didn't know that he was going to say that. There were certain individuals that knew exactly what he was going to do. And I agree that Joe Rogan had a little smirk on his face like he was anticipating it. It was all staged. And Michelle Obama and them should sue all of them. But I'm going to tell you why they won't sue them. They haven't, and they will not. See, what a lot of those black people in that clip don't realize is that in order to advance in the white man system to the level that the Obamas have advanced, you have to be down with the program. Now, I didn't always know this, but I understand it now, because when Barack became the president, so-called president of the United States of America, I was like most people. I was ignorant when it came to politics. I truly thought that God had intervened and elevated him to that status. But as I started educating myself about politics and how it works, I discovered that Obama was simply a deception, like all other presidents. They're all deceptions in that they want us to focus on the president and all the things that he's supposedly causing to happen with his pen, while the people behind the throne go not mentioned and not accused of anything, because they don't understand that it's the people behind the presidency, the ones you don't see, the Bilderberg group, that group of people, all those wealthy people from Europe and America who control everything, they are the one who decides what's going to happen in the country and in the world. Only when God allows it, of course, because God is still in charge. So Obama was picked to deceive black people, to make us feel as though things were changing and things were going to get better. But what did he do once he got in there? Let me put up the Obama's picture right now. Once Barack Hussein Obama was put in that office to deceive us in the world, he continued to push the agenda of the people who really control it, the Bilderbergers. He was the president who introduced the rights or signed off on the rights for gay marriage. He did that, and supposed to be a Christian. He did very little for African Americans because they did not put him in there to help African Americans. But I am going to give him credit for one thing, even though he had to package this as something he was doing for everybody, or he gave us Obamacare. I truly believe that he was doing that to try to help blacks, but he had to package it, put it in the package that this is for everybody. So he's going to get credit for Obamacare from me. But all politicians are puppets, all of them, especially the president. And so what those people in the video don't realize is that they had to play the game. They knew that this thing was going to happen. This was a stage event to get people talking, to get people upset, to keep people's minds off of the real issue. The real issue is that the Bilderbergers are ripping off everybody more and more and taking away rights and putting things in place to bring about the one world system that the Bible says has to happen so they can welcome their God, Lucifer. That's what this is. This is nothing but a distraction because everybody's talking about it right now. So I felt like I need to throw my 2 cents in there. Obama and the Trumps are all employees of the Bilderbergs. The Bilderbergers choose who's going to be the president. The Bilderbergers tell them what policies they're going to push and enforce. That's a fact. So in the public, it may look as though that Trump hates Obama. And a lot of people buy into that. They say, Trump really hates that Obama. No, Trump is an actor, just like Obama. And all of this is to do exactly what it's doing. Get people talking, get people upset, get people focused on it so they never discover what's really going on. Obama and his wife are part of that clique. They make millions and millions of dollars to do what they did, to push the policy and the agendas of the Bilderberger forward. And so why are they still talking about them? Because they know that they can use this to distract people. Not too long ago, somebody in the White House put a video out of the Obamas as with their heads on these monkeys as apes, and it got out in the news. It didn't get out in the news. It was deliberately leaked out to the news just to keep people talking and keep people distracted. And it worked like a charm. So that's why this poor white trash mixed martial arts fighter was set up, was told to make that statement. And everybody there, just about, of any significance, of any importance, knew it was going to happen, and they are down with this program, even though they will do interviews and say that they weren't. The guy who owns the UFC, Dana White, he made a statement when they put a microphone in his face and asked him about this. Let me play that clip.
A couple of negatives. Look, the Josh Hockett thing was obviously the big story for the mainstream media going out.
Yep.
That was
disgusting.
Yeah. Do you regret putting him on that card because of those comments? And
no, I mean, listen, there's always going to be people that say things that most of us don't agree with. You know, I mean, just the time, the place. I've said many times, listen, if you're an American, that's your president. And I respect all presidents, present and past. And you know, not everybody does, and you got to listen to that sometimes, unfortunately, because I also believe in free speech.
So that's what he said when he was asked about it, but he was in 100% agreement of what was going to transpire that night. It did not take him by surprise. He knew, as well as Joe Rogan did as well. Joe Rogan has a podcast, and he had somebody on there, and they were talking about it, and instead of condemn it, the guest was making fun of it, and Joe was just laughing it up. Let me play a little bit of that.
I was listening to your take on the White House UFC card being the end of MAGA.
Yeah.
And that the moment when that guy said Michelle Obama's a man.
Yeah. Well, it's just the greatest thing for if you're a deep, hardcore, and I don't even mean the America First principles. I just mean like you're along for the ride. You're here for the part. There's a lot of MAGA people that I'm friends with that are deep. They're not political. They're along for the part. They like the party.
Right.
There were houses that cheered when that happened.
100%.
It was 100%.
How many do you think? Over the whole country?
It was audible in Florida. Florida, I know for sure it was audible. For sure, people cheered, and it was like, listen,
like outside bars.
yeah, and it was a party. The fights were good.
Yeah.
You know,
That guy, Josh Hokett.
Yeah.
You know, that's like he's got a shtick. Like he's got a character. That he does.
Fun.
The Incredible Hulk. And so he's basically like a pro wrestling bad guy who also is a really good fighter.
Right.
So there's a real problem there.
What
this
should
guy
have
keeps
happened?
winning.
Yeah, and he says crazy stuff.
Well, they probably, in retrospect, if they wanted to avoid this, probably shouldn't have had him fight on the White House lawn.
Sure.
Because if he said that at the T-Mobile Arena or in Madison Square Garden,
Totally.
outrageous.
Sure.
But not that big a deal.
But But here's what should have happened afterwards. Michelle Obama should have made an Undertaker-like entrance. Let's go in.
All of a sudden, the lights go
The
out.
lights
Boom.
dim.
And then the light goes on the balcony.
If Michelle Obama...
And she comes on a cord. She flies over.
If Michelle Obama had made an Undertaker-like entrance and got in the stage and then body slammed, like, can you imagine? Unbelievable.
That would have been amazing.
So you see Joe with his guest, his name is Tim Dillon, making light of what this poor white trash mixed martial artist said. And he did not once, not in that interview, denounce or condemn what was said. Why? Because he agrees with it. And he's defending it. And then when they asked the guy who actually put the insult out there, what he had to say about it, he didn't apologize or anything. This is what he said.
I'm sitting there thinking like, why? Why did we have to go there? You're not going to fight with Michelle Obama. This is not a fight. This is not a planting of a seed like Alex Perez.
I thought I was giving her a compliment.
I don't think anyone viewed
Michelle
it as such.
Obama being a man that's like, she knows how to deal with adversity. You know, she knows how to work hard like a man. You know, when the times get tough, you know, the
Why does that come to mind in that moment? Like you just got this massive win of all the things you can say. Why even go there?
I thought it was a perfect opportunity to, you know, show the world how great this country is with the freedom of speech. You know, you go somewhere and you say something like that and you die.
So you see, he doubled down. He didn't apologize. You know, he just said I considered that a compliment what I said to her, but I felt like I needed to address this to say to my people out there, the ones who don't understand what I understand, that white supremacy is universal. It's not one little small group, small thing. You have the people with the power, those up there, the Bilderbergers, and that, but then you got your everyday average supporter of white supremacy, the lower class scum, because they are in agreement with what is said from the elite. And even though the Obamas are part of that clique, they would never, ever be respected by white supremacists. White supremacists will never, ever embrace them. It will use them as it has used them, but it will never honestly respect them. They truly view them as apes and monkeys. And so the Obamas had to understand that going in, hey, that's what it is, but we're going to have money. We're going to have all this worldly good. So they understand that. But I personally believe that Michelle Obama is the most beautiful first lady that we've ever had. And I'm not just saying that because she's a Black woman. I'm saying that because that's my opinion. I think she is absolutely beautiful. So it's kind of funny to me that they would say this beautiful Black woman is a man. She's not even masculine looking. She looks like a beautiful voluptuous woman. She's very pretty, but yet she's a man. And that comes out of the sick, twisted mind of white racist people. And this has been going on for a long time. The Obamas haven't been in office for almost 10 years now. And the white supremacy, well, hey, let's just keep poking fun at them, and we'll use the media to put it out there to get people upset and get people talking and keep their minds off of what we're really about. So Trump might really not, ain't no might to it, but he undoubtedly is prejudiced. He's just shown that, but he understands that the Obamas were given that position to deceive the American people, just like him and his wife. And you know what I find funny is they say Michelle Obama is a man. Even the late Joan Rivers said that. And they say she's a comedian. She was just telling jokes. No, she said that because she's prejudiced of Black people. And I want to play that clip. This is something she said about Michelle Obama about 8 years ago.
Ms. Rivers, how are you? You made a ton of news officiating the wedding in New York yesterday. Is this like a new cottage career move for you?
I am so excited.
Okay.
And I should do very well because I don't charge.
And do you think that the country will see the United States will see the first gay president or the first woman president?
We already have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
You know Michelle is a trans.
I'm sorry, she's a what?
A transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh. It's okay. She does this.
I remember when she said Michelle Obama was a transgender. In other words, Michelle Obama is really a man. And when you look at the picture of these two people, I see a white, so-called white person who hated herself so much that she constantly went and got plastic surgery trying to make herself look better, and it just made her look worse and worse. As a matter of fact, I think she actually looked good before she started having all this surgery done to her face. So that was a typical white person envying a Black person. That's why that statement was made. We are the envy of all people because we are the original people. And Michelle Obama is one of the most attractive Black women I've ever seen in my life. And it doesn't matter what white racist, poor trash person hurls an insult. It doesn't matter to me, and it shouldn't matter to you. What you need to understand is the reason why they do this is because they are inferior to the original people, and they have a big problem with that. We are the original people. We are the first, and we shall be the last. So there's always going to be that. And then, what I like about the Obamas is they carried themselves with dignity and class the whole time they were in office. And even to this day, they continue to do so. Now, what's interesting is they want to call her a man and insult her, but nobody talks about the current so-called president's wife. She's a beautiful white woman, but she couldn't compete with Michelle Obama, in my opinion, on her best day. There's just no comparison. But did you know that this woman was a soft porn model? That's who our first lady is now. This is a picture of her. She was a soft porn model. And probably if she would do soft porn, she probably did porn. But nobody goes in on that fact. The first lady of the United States of America, from what I understand, is supposed to be a woman of class and dignity and high moral standard. Someone like this beautiful woman right here. This beautiful woman was never a soft porn model. This beautiful woman was a lawyer from an Ivy League school. And in the public, she has always carried herself and presented herself with nothing but dignity. But yet, the white supremacists, they say we're going to keep taking shots at them. And what's funny to me is how the white supremacists have the nerve and the gall to compare black people to monkeys. They're monkeys, they're chimps. But in reality, if you really look at certain Caucasians and you look at monkeys or apes, like this orangutan, and you look at Trump, if you really, really look at it real closely, and I'm not trying to be funny, I'm not trying to be degrading, I see some similarities there. The color of the hair. I see some similarities there. But yet, we will forever have these prejudiced, hateful, subhuman people taking shots at the original people. Now, I'm going to say this. When I say subhuman, I'm talking about people with that mentality that hate us because they ain't us. So I want to make sure I say that. I am not talking about Caucasians who are not prejudiced or no other so-called racial group that's not prejudiced. I'm talking about the ones who view us as monkeys and apes, and they're jealous and envious of us, and they hate us, and they work together collectively to shortchange us, deprive us of things, kill us, murder us. I'm talking about those people. So let me make sure I say that. I am not talking about every so-called white person or other group. I'm talking about the ones with that mentality. They're subhuman. And the only time that's going to end is when God comes back and gets rid of them. And God is fair. He's not only going to get rid of them, but he's going to get rid of all wicked, evil, hateful, so-called black people as well. So let me make sure I say that too, because God is no respecter of persons. Everybody's going to get exactly what they got coming when it's all said and done. So I wanted to comment on this. You should not be offended. You should expect that from the type of people we're talking about. And in closing, as far as that mixed martial artist comment, this is what the Bible says about that. Jesus said that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof or of it in the day of judgment.